I think everybody dreams of kickflipping like Luan Oliveira, but honestly, sometimes watching his kickflip can be really discouraging. It's almost like so perfect that you're like, man, how will I ever do anything like that? But that's what we're gonna try and do today. We're gonna break down Luan Oliveira's kickflip and then see if an average skater like me can replicate this technique to help me kickflip over my bench. This would definitely be the biggest flat ground kickflip I've ever done. Let me know whose kickflip you want me to copy next. So the first key to Luan Oliveira's kickflip technique is his foot positioning. Now Luan Oliveira's front foot, he places the ball of his foot directly behind the bolts. This does two things. Number one, having the ball of his foot right in the center of the board gives him the most stability that he possibly can, which allows him to put as much pop and as much effort into his kickflip as possible. Secondly, having his foot so close to the bolts, this shortens the distance that he needs to drag his foot to actually get the board flipping. So that reduces the room for error when he's actually flipping his board. Now his back foot is pretty much halfway up the tail, but a little bit on the heel side of the tail. What this does is it channels more energy onto the heel side of the board, which is the same side that Luan's gonna be flicking his kickflip off. So by popping on the heel side, giving him more traction so he can get that super powerful whippy flick on his kickflip. Now the next key to Luan Oliveira's kickflip is his upper body position. So as he crouches down, you'll notice that his shoulders are very, very open to the direction that he's going. And he does this so that as he crouches, he can lean forward, and you'll notice his head is over the front bolts of the board. So this allows him to put all of his weight onto his front foot, which is the most stable part of his stance. So that way he can channel as much energy possible down into the board, which then later he lifts his foot and releases that pressure all the way into the back foot, creating a super powerful pop. This is Luan's secret to doing really, really high flip tricks. Build pressure in the front foot and then transfer that into the back foot. Also, you notice as Luan jumps up, he swings his arms kind of behind him because he's leaning so far forward as he crouches down. By throwing his arms behind him as he jumps up, this allows his body to get recentered over the board. So that way he's not landing the kickflip forward. He's actually able to go from crouching down forward and then jumping up and being completely centered over the kickflip, able to catch it and land. Now the next key to Luan Oliveira's kickflip is how he flicks the board. Notice where the nose of Luan's board is and see how far out in front his knee is in front of that nose. He has one of the most powerful and exaggerated flicks in skateboarding, and by leading out with the knee like that, that gives him the leverage to really pull his board up into the air and get a really fast flick. Finally, the last and probably the biggest key to Luan Oliveira's kickflip is the timing of his flick. So notice right as his tail is hitting the ground, look at where his knee is. It's already over the front of the nose, and then skip a few frames forward and you'll notice that Luan Oliveira's tail has just barely left the ground and his knee is already fully out in front of the board, ready to start flicking the kickflip. His body and board have just barely started leaving the ground and he's already got that knee way out in front. Getting the knee out in front early allows Luan to finish the kickflip on the way up, so that way he can actually catch the kickflip at the top of his jump. So by getting his knees out in front so early, he's able to get the flip done and catch it at the peak, so he can pretty much kickflip as high as he can jump. So if my theory is correct, I should be able to use these techniques to kickflip over my bench today. Like I said, this is uncharted territory for me. I'm afraid I won't be able to do this and this video will be a complete waste, so hopefully this works out. Oh my gosh, well I gave it all I got. I will be coming back for my revenge on this stupid bench. But if you did enjoy this video, you should check out this one. It's Cater Silla's kickflip technique. If you struggle with your balance during kickflips, that video is gonna help you out. If you guys want more in-depth trick analysis, check out my Patreon. Remember to make every single day a Friday, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.